This tutorial will teach you how to add RGB control to your proServ. As you can see, we have three different functions. RGB separated will give you three different communication objects for your three different colors. And RGB combined switching and or dimming will give you communication objects for switching and or dimming, as well as just one 3-byte communication object to control the lights. This is a special communication object that is, for instance, supported by the Zenio RGB dimmer module, KNX dimmer module. Let's say we're using RGB separated because we're using three 1 to 10 volt channels on our KNX system to control our LEDs. We call this RGB LED, and again on the left hand side there are our communication objects that automatically appear. Go to group objects, you can see they're all in 1 byte in length, and they are so-called combined communication objects, so they would require you to drag the sending group address first and then the receiving group address with the return information second to this communication object for red, to this for green, and to this for blue, in order to get the feedback information displayed as well. You'll then have a little pop-up in our app where you have a color wheel so you can select any and all colors. A specialty, if you're using a module that doesn't support the 3-byte communication object, but you still want to control it and switch it on and off and also dim the colors, any colors you have selected, it tells you next switch or dimmer with the same name will be used for this RGB function. You would then, in order to create the communication objects, have to say, for instance, if you want to dim it, dimming, give it the same name, so you'd name it RGB LED. And over here on the left hand side you can see that function 1, zone 1 function 4 has given you now three communication objects, and those communication objects would then have to be linked to the corresponding communication object of your RGB control module. So you would have to drag the switching output from our communication object, the group address to it, that is then connected to the input of the KNX RGB controller, and so forth.